How are you all doing? Let's start with the news about what's happening around the world. And well, the sky turned pinkish red, kind of a purple color. Actually, no, a pretty... Barbie color, but anyway. And I was taking pictures, but anyway. The British woke up confused today, December 17th.
Exactly. And it turns out they appeared on television. They explained that this was a natural phenomenon that is very rare and also difficult to predict. It happens when sunlight passes through an area where there are many fine dust particles and or moisture in the air. And let's say it filters out the blue, it doesn't let it pass, so only the red light passes through, which, well, when it diffuses, it turns pink, right?
He says, among the affected regions were Herefordshire, Donson and West London. Experts say only a few lucky people were in the right place at the right time since it lasted just minutes, and then the phenomenon simply disappears. It's uncommon, but it does happen from time to time. In February of 2019, also in the southwest of England, a similar phenomenon was recorded, and also last year in Britain. This phenomenon was also detected in some cases in Canada. For 10 minutes, or even up to 15 minutes, some people say. The phenomenon, as you said, is a phenomenon that happens especially around this time of year exactly.
And at odd times as well. Because, well, in December, this December has been very warm for them. They're very surprised in the United Kingdom because, well, it's warm for them. Between 12 and 15 degrees. So for them, it feels like it's summer, right? They've had temperatures up to 15 degrees. And this is due to a particularly active jet stream that has brought the humid weather. And that's why this happens. And it's also been windy since November. And this has caused this phenomenon, right?
Well, the phenomenon is part of these meteorological oddities like the ice halo or thunderstorm rain, this rain that creates thunder-like sounds. All of these are like that. I'm not sure if you recall the case in Venezuela where an area keeps experiencing constant lightning. I mean, those are some of those super active thunderstorms they talk about too. This idea of the three suns, for example, also showed up recently in China, right?
Yes, very beautiful.
It looks very beautiful. That phenomenon, especially when you see it through the camera or lens. Well, it looks like an optical effect. And, well, you might say, well, it's just an optical effect. But the people
I'm seeing?
The ones who are seeing it, and yes, it really does feel strange. It's weird to see like three suns. I don't know. It looks strange.
Can you really imagine what the ancient humans would have thought? I don't know what's out there, dude. They're coming to destroy us.
I don't know. Or maybe they said, aren't those the well-known ice crystals in the atmosphere? But anyway, that's how we start today's broadcast. Thank you so much for being here with us. That was all, nothing else. Just imagine, hey, let's move on to other matters which are also important. At this moment, a missile reportedly fired by Israel has been reported, which has left 10 people injured in a residential area in Gaza. Well, saying residential area nowadays, well, it's this area, residential areas. I mean, these are situations that, as you know, it's practically destroyed. Gaza. Israeli troops fired a mortar shell over the ceasefire line toward a Palestinian residential area. This is the latest incident known in this very, very fragile truce that is taking place right now. And it remains a situation in which even the United States itself has already come out to say something like, well, a warning, not exactly, but something similar. A scolding to Netanyahu because, well, they say, hey, we need to respect the ceasefire.
Yes. I mean, the United States always tries to support Israel up to a certain point. The truth is they've crossed the line several times and the United States hasn't said anything. But anyway, recently it became known, it was leaked through the media outlet Axios, that they had already spoken directly with Netanyahu.
The army says the projectile veered from its unspecified target and landed on a residence. The idea was apparently not to attack that area where there are 10 injured Palestinians who were not supposed to be shot at.
They're in critical condition.
They are in critical condition, exactly. Israel claims that it only responds to violations by Hamas. They say they attack when they are attacked. Supposedly, this yellow line is the one that is constantly experiencing these clashes that are happening. According to the Palestinians, one cause is that the line is incorrectly marked. In some areas, the yellow line is visible. In others, it's absent and then it appears again. So, well, what about these gaps? It's not exactly clear how far you can go. And there are Palestinians who want to return to their area, to what remains for them, and suddenly it's not clear where the line is, and well, they end up getting shot. Is the situation very risky now?
Exactly. Well, the Golani Brigade continues destroying underground infrastructure as well as surface infrastructure linked to Hamas activity. Now, nothing has been said about the terrorists who were trapped in there. I don't know if in the underground, in the areas, the tunnels, the underground tunnels, but they were exactly where Israel is, and nothing has been said about them anymore. Since the peace agreement was signed, 370 Palestinians have lost their lives to Israeli fire. Something that, well, shouldn't have happened.
In theory, no, exactly. That wasn't the idea. Basically, no, obviously. On the other hand, also, before we move on to other important matters happening in the world, what's happening right now on Wall Street is drawing attention. Obviously, it's a bad sign that at this point in the year, which is usually the best. Yes, the last quarter is usually the best of the year, and this time Wall Street is closing with a drop. They attribute this to a lack of confidence in artificial intelligence. What's going on over there?
Well, it closed in the red today, Friday, with a drop in ASEC of about negative 1.80%. And well, obviously the uncertainty about the issue of artificial intelligence, which has been building up for several months now, right? The S&P 500 also dropped by 1.15%. The Dow Jones dropped by 0.47, which is the lowest level it has had in the last 3 weeks among these main indexes. Well, tensions have been rising because Blue Old Capital decided not to support a $10 billion investment from the United States in data centers for Oracle. And that's why this drop happened today. And at the same time, Amazon dropped because it was revealed that there were talks to invest a similar amount in OpenAI, the company that runs ChatGPT. So it doesn't really seem safe, the environment.
It was the perfect storm. A lot of little things are coming together. Maybe they're creating distrust. There's a craze happening now. It's the chair rush, like the old gold rush. So suddenly, well, they are. Expectations are sky high, and right now progress is still slow. There's not even enough energy yet to do everything that's being planned. So they're going to have to wait a few years for that expectation to be met. And that's something they're realizing right now. Note it's being reported in this part of the United States. In the central part of the United States, a series of small earthquakes. Let's say in what? Well, no. It hasn't just been surprising, but it's believed that a fault in that area could be activating. And that obviously is concerning. This week, there was a sequence in which at first they talked about roughly 38 earthquakes. Right now, there are already 900, let me tell you. I'm going to focus on this area only. According to what it shows here, there are about 900 earthquakes.
900 earthquakes.
More or less. It's reporting to me, but actually a bit less, since it includes ones from this part of Texas. Let me get closer so it doesn't count those, because this is the area that's having the effect. But it's not counting it correctly for me. There it is, more or less. Now we're just looking at Arkansas. We reload the page again, more or less for the last week, and here is the correct number. There have been 155 earthquakes in the area. All of these are minor. You call them earthquakes, tremors. The thing is, it's an unusual area if you notice, right? In Texas, we already know there's a problem there. Maybe people don't want to admit it, but it's an issue with fracking. Suddenly, Texas has become seismic. There's small earthquakes, but there's been too much fracking in the area, and it's believed that could be the reason. But what happens between Arkansas, which is this area, look, here are these earthquakes, and what it leads to. Even Missouri is affected. Missouri reaches part of this area in Oklahoma. A series of earthquakes are happening, and they say there's an area called the New Madrid Seismic Zone. To be more specific, it's this area. This is where people are more worried, because when this started to activate, they said, wait, there's a fault here, a fault that was dormant. The earthquakes, none of them were greater than 2.6. That's the highest it reached, magnitude 2.6. But even though it goes unnoticed by the residents, its geographic pattern matches the historical events of the bicentennial seismic swarm of 1811, when 3 major earthquakes of magnitude over 7 shook the Midwest, causing massive damage from Louisiana to Connecticut. And well,
According to the United States Geological Survey, this activity seems normal, but it happens in a very unusual context, doesn't it? What's the name of the New Madrid seismic zone, right? Yes, it's not near tectonic plates, but rather it sits on an internal weakness within the American continent. Some things remain a mystery to science, still unexplained. The probability of this earthquake happening could be about 40% in the next 50 years, and in 2025, a scenario of 7 is being considered. These projections already indicate that it would result in 86,000 people either dead or injured.
the warning or issue is this. This could happen at any moment, although it could extend from now to 50 years, obviously, the situation. If something like that were to happen, well, projections indicate that the damage would be tremendous. Just to give us an idea, he says. In 2025, the model of a magnitude 7 earthquake scenario in the region, if they claimed there would be 86, that seems exaggerated to me, but that's what it says. Here is the report. 86,000 dead, just imagine. I mean, if a magnitude 7 earthquake happens like the one in 1811, the projection shows 86,000 dead and 715,000 injured. In buildings damaged, 2.6 million households would lose power, 700,000 buildings damaged, an economic cost of $300 to $600 billion. Cities like San Luis and Memphis are in the direct line of devastation. According to the report, at least 11 million people currently living in the risk zone could be affected. We never discuss these issues in that area.
We don't talk about these issues. By the way, the study was conducted by the University of Illinois, Virginia Tech, and George Washington University. Just so you know who's doing it.
It's obviously important to know who's conducting this study. And well, this condition, which is called a sleeping fault, that's what they call it, has made much of the country ignore the risk to the United States. Most Americans, most of those who live there, don't even have any idea about this topic.
No. And besides, it's pretty long. It's 150 miles long and goes through 5 states: Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois. I mean, there are quite a few, and all of these could be affected.
Well, it's been about 200 years since that disaster back in 1811. Right now, things are different in the sense that there are more people, more buildings, electrical grids, and gas pipelines. We know that before the risk was a bit lower to begin with because there were fewer people, but now there are a lot more people. And when you calculate the damage that can be caused in an area where people don't have an earthquake culture, I mean, no, it's not like in California or maybe in other regions of the world like Chile or Mexico City. They're not used to earthquakes. They don't know exactly what to do. Imagine if this suddenly happens in Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, or San Luis. I know many of you in these states are watching us. And at the very least, you should know that there's a risk zone there as well. And nothing happens for 50 years or even longer. But it's something that when it happens, especially this kind of sudden activity with lots of small earthquakes, those little swarms, so to speak, it could be a sign of something more. It could be that these are the ones. Well, we didn't know about the subject either. I mean, it's just that the seismologists themselves, the experts on the subject, started bringing it up. We said, wait a minute, what are we talking about? We hadn't seen this. We didn't know about it because it's that forgotten story. Who's even tracking 1800? Hey, there was an earthquake. Yeah, but why did the earthquake happen and how? Well, you only realize it later. There's another risk area that, well, When this activity happens, at least when it happens, we have to remember it and stay alert because it could turn into something, obviously, especially the very important prevention.
And the most interesting thing is, well, what geologists say is that they don't know why earthquakes happen, and that's what worries them.
Yes, exactly. Even though they call it the sleeping fault, it's not actually a fault, it's something else. What do they call it?
They call it a weakness of the continent, as if that area had one. You say, well, how much could construction companies or the recent floods, so many of them, have affected it?
I mean, there are a lot of new factors that could be the cause of an activation.
Ultimately, scientists aren't sure what causes these systems.
There you have it. Just understand the situation and stay alert to what's happening. Friends in the United States, stay alert to that situation. Hello to Adilson, Francisco Arce, and everyone in the community joining us. Thank you so much. How have you all been? Very well. Let's move on to other matters, other important topics as well.
We took him because we had a president who maybe wasn't paying attention, but they're not going to do it. We want him back.
Today, well, now the tone changes about Venezuela because yesterday Donald Trump was saying they wanted to go after their oil, their land, and I don't know what else, so much drama. Well, today he clarified what he meant and assured that there are companies that were taken over by Chavez's government at the time. An expropriation, many expropriations that happened, affecting Venezuelan business owners, affecting European companies and American companies. So what they're saying is, well, we want them to give us back the companies they took from us. And Trump already clarifies this, specifying what he meant yesterday, because yesterday he was talking like, well, oil remains essential and must always be. Venezuelans don't belong to Maduro, they don't belong to the United States, obviously. But maybe it will have to do with if these companies return, also rethinking how everything will be integrated. Because right now, it's known that Washington started talking to the companies, started reaching out to the companies. Let's see, today you, Exxon, we're here looking at the situation in Venezuela. Do you want to return to Venezuela? So far, all the major companies that have been asked have said they're not interested, they don't want to get into trouble. They see it as very complicated. Was it a headache at the time? It's not like suddenly just because they say, oh, well, we're going to make a regime change now, automatically everything was saved. Everything is fine. Well, no, obviously companies first want to see what government is coming in, what conditions there will be, what the laws will be, which ones. I mean, they're not going to say, yes, I want to come in. Of course not. Obviously not, right? I mean, they need certainty. That's how business works, with certainty. Any country that begins changing its laws or making judicial reforms, right? Strange things start to cause distrust. Wait, what's happening? Not until they see here. Okay, it was fine, perfect, then trust returns. Yes, it's just that they think it's fine. The thing is, well, things are moving. Something strange is happening right now at the White House anyway, and a lot of nervousness. It even led to thinking that something was happening at this moment because Marco Rubio was seen there walking past the window on one side and then to the other and to the other and to the other. And it was like, what's going on? Something's coming.
What announcement is going to?
What will he announce or what will happen? Because, well, it looked like the announcement was already made a moment ago by Donald Trump, basically to promote himself.
About publicity. And well, he announced a check that will be given to the military for $1,076. But other than that, I mean, it seemed like it was going to be something bigger. A lot of journalists started to comment that he was going to talk about Venezuela, but he didn't mention Venezuela even once. But it is striking. If not, these moves he makes toward oil companies like Exxon, Conoco, Phillips, and others. So why do you say not to make moves if they're not interested? Could this affect whether there will be a plan in Venezuela or what exactly is going to happen?
Right now, there's supposed to be a blockade in this area as announced by the United States. They said today that oil can't leave there anymore. Petróleos de Venezuela, Sociedad Anónima. No, yes, the oil is still leaving and I don't know what else. But the report denounces how Venezuela is using these unidentified ships to try to export crude oil that way. They even use them as camouflage to send drugs. They also say this is an alarming finding. The ships, he says, 41% of tanker traffic in November was irregular, according to reports from 17 operated by the automatic identification system. Turned off the transponder. Turning into another ghost fleet, there's Russia's, there's Iran's, and now there's Venezuela's, he says. The sanctioned or stealth ships carried out at least 13 crude oil transfers at sea, ship to ship, out of reach networks and controls, especially near Amway and near Moshima National Park. Donald Trump is looking to announce a total, complete blockade, and well, he announced it, the blockade, yes.
And well, this is already affecting Venezuela's economy, where because of the blockades, because of what we're seeing deployed in the Caribbean, it has already affected the flow of dollars and cryptocurrencies to the Venezuelan private sector. There's already a flight of dollars, so to speak, and obviously inflation has skyrocketed. There's a drop in the availability of foreign currency, an increase in the parallel dollar rate, and accelerating inflation in the economy, where more than 80% of transactions use the dollar. And Petróleos de Venezuela, Sociedad Anónima's international operations are facing the biggest obstacle they've ever had. One of the reasons given by the people from the companies, by the way, from Petrolentes for changing the subject, is that they're not interested because they have to invest a lot in the facilities, because Petróleos de Venezuela, Sociedad Anónima's facilities are in very bad shape.
Imagine infrastructure that's been neglected for decades. So how? You're not going to invest there just to have it taken away again, right? That's not what they're thinking. No, hopefully that won't happen, but they don't trust it. Obviously, it's not such a big investment that something might happen later.
But well, right now, the Venezuelan currency is losing about 1% per day. Inflation, according to International Monetary Fund estimates, could end this year at 548% because we're including everything that happens during the rest of the year.
Well, it's extremely out of control. The economy is in total collapse. There's no other word for it. I mean, and while the Venezuelan economy keeps collapsing, which is already very, very affected, this attack is also being reported, once again, an attack at the time, according to what is being reported. The same Pentagon that shows these boats in the ocean. On this occasion, today, November 17th, under the direction of Secretary of War Pidges, the Southern Command Joint Task Force carried out a lethal kinetic strike against a vessel operated by a designated terrorist organization in international waters. Intelligence confirmed that the vessel was traveling along a route known for drug trafficking in the Eastern Pacific. Again in the Pacific, and it was involved in drug trafficking operations. I killed 4 male narco-terrorists, and no United States military members were hurt. At least, that's what they always say now. So now, with these 4 people, that's 99 people who have lost their lives in this way.
Exactly. Well, according to the official statement, United States intelligence confirmed that this vessel was part of a designated terrorist organization and was sailing on the route known for illicit trafficking.
Yes, well, let's move on to other important matters as well, such as the state. Hey, go ahead and give us a like, share this, help us out with that, and thank you very much. By the way, to the community that supports us with a super chat, a super thanks, a membership, or a subscription, thank you so much for being here. And well, every day we have live broadcasts about what's happening in the world. We chat, we talk, and we try to keep you informed about the latest events around the world. Let's move on to other matters. Let's go to other important topics as well. Something strange is happening in Europe, and while this is going on, France is one of the areas. Maybe more will be attacked. They are already talking about a war in Poland, Germany, France, getting more and more involved in a kind of Cold War or proxy war, with multiple, well, there are even going to be movements. Well, right now, France is investigating foreign interference after an attack on a passenger ship with remote control malware. In other words, France is investigating an organization linked to a, let's say, foreign power that is said to have been involved in this incident. Within these actions that they are observing more and more, France says it is already on high alert. This is what they say after a highly sophisticated hacking attempt was discovered on the ferry Fantastic, owned by the Italian shipping company Grandi Navi Veloci while it was docking at the port of Siti. Or Sete, I don't know how to say it because it's in French. But what was detected is a remote access Trojan capable of granting total control of the vessel. Just imagine that suddenly it goes like this and someone takes control of the vessel just like that, right? I mean, this topic is crazy, and meanwhile, I don't know if you want to comment more on it, but if not, let's also move on to this leak that happened in France. It's just that a lot of things happened.
3 or 4 things happened in France.
Another key topic, so if you want to discuss Octupra.
Okay. The Minister of the Interior faced a cyber attack that exposed confidential files, including criminal records of wanted individuals, ongoing investigations, and details about those responsible. This was confirmed today by the Minister of the Interior, who was targeted in the cyber attack that also led to the theft of dozens of confidential files. The minister, whose name is Laura Nunez, revealed that the vulnerable systems include sensitive data, such as the treatment system, criminal records, and the file of wanted persons. And well, they also don't know how much was stolen.
That's the thing. I mean, they don't even know exactly what information was stolen, what was taken, or for what purpose, right? I mean, what's the intention there? It's really serious. I don't know if you have anything else.
I have something else about France today. Also, around the middle of this month, a fake video generated with AI started circulating where supposedly they talk about a coup d'etat happening in France. A reporter appeared and it went super viral. If you didn't, though, I think you did on your personal one. And well, obviously this was completely fake, but it did manage to get millions of views. Those confused thought it was real, leading to emergency diplomatic contacts and some people being activated, wondering what was happening. They started talking, but well, this obviously wasn't real.
No, well, I mean, I'm not going to show all of it, but up there it says, I mean, there's a coup d'etat. They're reporting this as if it were real. Obviously, it's a lie, it's false, but it's not done with her. The way this is being handled now was very coordinated. On one hand, hacking this minister. On the other hand, hacking this ship, this ferry, to take absolute control of the ferry. And on the other hand, giving the impression that there was a coup d'etat. Just imagine, well, this is it. This is the time we're in. I don't know if it's a Cold War, hybrid war, or something else, but that's how it is.
This video started being shared, especially on Facebook, and Macron reported this, asking Meta to take it down, but the company refused for 2 days, arguing that the video did not violate the platform's rules. And they only limited themselves to putting a warning that said the video might have been generated by AI. That's an issue now with Facebook, not Meta, since it no longer has censors or removes content. Basically, they've decided to just let everything go.
I'm not saying that, but, well, you have to have a certain amount of common sense.
Especially if the president asks you, hey,
there's something specific that could cause instability in a country. I think that, well, something will have to be done to definitely not let that happen. But anyway, let's move on to other matters, to other important topics as well. Right now, there are others too. Well, there are reports in which scientists claim that there are many more habitable planets in the universe, in space. Let's say, compared to what was previously thought, I mean, thinking that maybe it was very complicated, very difficult to find them. What do they call them, exoplanets? Well, it turns out now that it's not as rare as expected. A new scientific model suggests that the formation of habitable rocky planets could be much more common than previously thought, according to a study published in Science Advance. This scientific journal states that a group of scientists presented a model that offers an alternative to planetary formation, which could revolutionize what we understand about the very existence of the universe itself. Until now, Earth was considered an anomaly. And they say, hey, we were so lucky to be here in this specific part of the universe at this time, at this moment, at this hour. It wasn't impressive. A rocky, dry but habitable planet with water,
With the perfect temperature.
ideal temperature, etc. Were there going to be some little humans there saying, oh, I'm team hot, I'm team cold? They're excited about being in the cold or heat, but the temperatures are nearly identical. I mean, from the point of view of how other planets are, yeah.
Of course.
The point is that the journal Science Advance published a study suggesting that planets like Earth aren't that rare. That the formation of worlds with solid surfaces and potential habitability could be happening much more frequently than we think. The key, they say, is heat. For a rocky planet, for a planet like this to become dry and eventually habitable, it needs additional heat. In the case of Earth, the impact is attributed to radioactive particles coming from a nearby supernova. Traditionally, it was thought that this supernova had to be at an exact distance, not too far away to have the effect, but not so close as to destroy it. But this was a mistake. One asks, in our case, was it like this? For a planet to have this, it would be extremely rare, but the proximity isn't necessary. The Japanese proposal comes from Japanese scientists. It eliminates this critical distance, suggesting that there are several forms of transfer, mainly two: the direct injection of particles and synthesis. Internal synthesis caused by the interaction of cosmic rays with stardust. Basically, like, it says that the margin for life is much broader than previously thought. He says that means there are many more habitable exoplanets, totally, let's say, than what was previously thought. The dual model allows for the formation of habitable planets even with a supernova at a distance, which increases the possibility of exoplanets. And with this model, they could start observing other areas they hadn't observed before.
Because they didn't believe that possibility existed.
There are no supernovas there, or they're too distant, so life shouldn't exist there. They didn't check those areas, did they? And there would be some here. On this side, no, well, not here either. So all those areas, turns out maybe there is life, right? So obviously this is going to be very interesting for space research.
Exactly. Well, our ego always gets in the way because we always think that if it's there and hasn't gone, then there's nothing left. But in the end, as they say in Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
Finds a way. Exactly. Let's move on to other important topics. Well, it hasn't snowed in Monterey or in Chihuahua. In Chihuahua, I don't know. I went to work in the mountains. But where it is snowing is in Saudi Arabia. Over there, it's cold, hot, and everything at the same time. And that, I mean, Saudi Arabia snowing again. A few days ago, we were talking about some floods in several areas of the Middle East, from Morocco to the Middle East. They've had reports of very heavy rains lately, and now even snow and everything. Well, that's the topic for today. And well, among all these situations and everything we're seeing, there's one of these images that have been reported showing how the phenomenon looks on the maps, or rather, how the cold phenomenon that's happening again in the north, in the United States, looks. And how's the day going to be? 20 what? 25 and all these days? Well, look, the cold obviously continues for the east especially, as we can see. There's a report warning about winter storms, even historic floods, with wind gusts that will be super intense. Well, they're talking about an impact or potential impact on about 90 million people who will be experiencing somewhat severe weather. In some of these places, according to the reports, there are already weather alerts, they insist. Well, for millions of people who would be, thinking about how they're going to prepare for this day, especially on the 24th and the 25th, which is when, all of this happens, you know? Movement parties, visits from family members, trips by plane, road trips, all of this, they say it's guaranteed. One thing is that in many areas there will be chaos. I mean, chaos on the roads, accidents, that's the situation. That's why with these extreme winds and floods, they're asking people to avoid the risk of moving around. Just like that, because if not, I mean, if you're going to move, then do it very carefully, go with all the precautions. There are 20 states that are going to have Christmas weather, so this will last for at least the next 2 to 3 days or so. About 72 are under alert due to what they call a meteorological emergency scenario. That's the name they've given it, which they insist affects millions of citizens. The United States National Weather Service issued multiple alerts for winds and possible flooding. Well, let's get started. I think, with this part.
The affected areas would be Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Northern California, where mass evacuations and rescues have already been reported due to historic rainfall. For example, what happened in Washington?
Exactly. What happened in Washington is a whole issue. I mean, we've been seeing things like the atmospheric river, the rains, but the point is they've had a lot of rain, a lot of problems in this whole area. The northeast of the country, actually the northwest, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Northern California. As you said, with these alerts, 31 million people, it seems simple, right? But 31 million people are at risk of destructive winds from the Pacific coast all the way to the Midwest plains. Do the winds hear this? They will be exceeding 100 kilometers per hour, but there are areas, like in Colorado, where the winds will reach up to 144 kilometers per hour. The gusts, watch out.
No.
Not sustained winds, because that would be very destructive, but rather gusts, sudden gusts that could lift a tree, that could lift a roof. I mean, they're gusts. Exactly, that's how it is. A tree, I mean, yes, exactly. I mean, either it comes out...
But I can hear you.
Or Furilis comes flying out, right? If he has him out there, he comes out, yes.
The Christmas decorations.
The Christmas decorations. Yeah, now for real, just forget about those, right? This is going to be tremendous. The risks, obviously, well, that's not about that anymore. It's not really a joke. They are important. The high plains, for example, I mean, the Rocky Mountains face conditions that are basically paralyzing on the routes. And well, it's expected that some communities will end up isolated because of the phenomenon, right?
They're discussing highly dangerous conditions there. And well, obviously, there's the possibility of power outages because of the wind and the combination of snow. The wind threatens all the wiring. There have already been reports of failures and material damage, especially in critical infrastructure like energy. And Washington, which is the state that was experiencing these floods, which have been described as historic, already has 100,000 people evacuated. Collapsed roads were caused by flooding, and there were also threats of overflowing in other regions within Washington.
That's exactly what we're seeing today. Yes, there's the new snow for tomorrow and the day after. Tomorrow, in 3 days, on the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th. It goes until the 25th, so the snow will still be there, right? In that area, especially toward the northwest, I thought the snow was moving east, but it actually went west to the coast, to the west side. Now, that's Washington, Northern California, and parts of Nevada. All these states, well, with a little more snow, even though in some areas almost no snow has fallen. No, like Christy has told us, and for example, over there in Utah, she mentioned that there hasn't been anything. Well, look, maybe now they might get a little bit. That's new snow, let's see. But I mean, this is snow, new snow. Look, I mean, so let's see if a little bit gets there, but at least here I've already moved away. Hey, but I've already moved away. I've already gone all the way to the first day. I mean, I've already gone all the way to the first day, to day 1, to day 25. Is it up to here? Yes. Well, and there, yeah, Utah barely gets anything at all. By the 31st, the snow spreads out and Colorado will get more snow. Wyoming, Idaho, this whole area, well, it looks like it's going to have a higher chance of snowfall. For everyone in Washington, Seattle, Oregon, and California, pay attention to this situation. There are also other states more toward the Midwest, like Kansas and Missouri. Snowfall is possible throughout this area. And let's go all the way to the far northeast, like Maine, going really far north, practically in Canada. That's where there could be snowfall. But if you look further down in Pennsylvania and New York...
Calm down.
Well, very calm, honestly. I mean, yeah, maybe a little something new. Slight, but very, very, very slight. No major snowfalls are expected then. From here, I insist, until the 31st, actually until the end of the year. And that's how the conditions are regarding snow and temperature. We already saw it in the United States, but on the 24th, that's how it's going to be. These are the temperatures for the 24th. Very pleasant. Those are the lows. Very pleasant. I mean, yes, okay, there are some places where it's going to be very cold, but overall very pleasant. Compared to how it was with the vortex reaching all the way here and with Chicago at minus 19 degrees, for example, look right now, on the night of the 24th, look, at night, Chicago will be at 2 degrees.
Oh, weren't you calm about that? Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the minimum at night, but on the 24th at noon, it'll be 5 degrees. I mean, you could even go for a dip in the lake. No.
No, not that much either.
Not that much, okay? Well, let's not exaggerate then, but it really is very nice compared to how it's been these last few days. Yeah, so, well, that's that too. And, well, what can I say? Look, in Mexico on the 24th, look at the highs. Agustin Lara.
So don't even buy really warm winter clothes because no, you won't need them for the 24th.
No, that's it. I'm already feeling hot, so I even took off my cap. No, well, look, I mean, it's fine. It's comfortable. It's really nice and calm, right? Winter basically isn't really winter, basically. I mean, that's it. The people from the center over there, it's more like...
It's cooler.
Isn't it cooler, right? But in the province, people often say, oh, no, oh, the one in the province lie, but don't say that. Well, there it is. It's hotter. It's hotter if you look, but at night it's going to be colder for Mexico City on the 24th.
8 degrees. Yes, you can buy winter clothes.
No, but 8 degrees is nothing. It's not within its range, not with that.
Well, at least...
Well, a little jacket, a light sweater, you know, that's what I mean. It will depend if there's humidity, wind, and so on. But, well, it's up to you. The point is that it's getting really interesting. By the way, people have been writing to us. They've been telling us about how cold it is over there, or rather how hot it is, what's it called, in Argentina. And for that day, for the 24th from Colombia, Brazil, well, in Venezuela, Christmas already happened. I mean, you guys aren't going to celebrate Christmas anymore because you already did, right? That's how it's supposed to be. New Year's already happened too.
It's already over. It's already the new year. I mean...
And Venezuela is in the future. Venezuela is in 2026, according to Maduro's craziness, right? Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, in what way? What good does it do him to make those announcements? Well, I mean, what changes for Venezuelans? Nothing at all, no.
I think he's already at the end, so it's like, whatever. Just let it be, right?
Tomorrow is Snoopy's day?
Surrealism, yes. Also, tomorrow on Snoopy's day, they're going to release something. Right now, the point is that it's super, hot. Well, no, super hot. Let's not say super. No, because super. I think it's 40 and up.
How much is it?
It's in the 30s, but only at the highest points. So I can see around here it's 35, something like that. But no, not even 40. So it gets there. Well, it's hot, let's say, right? That would be comfortably hot. Let's move on to other important matters. Notice that there are two reports that I find very interesting, both related to the planet. One of them is about temperatures in the Arctic. But before that, I'd like to talk to you about what's happening at a hospital in Oregon, where they're rushing to build a tsunami shelter, while Federal Emergency Management Agency is struggling with funding cuts. I mean, Oregon, Washington, California. They have to invest in infrastructure every year against earthquakes, against tsunamis, because sooner or later it's going to happen, sooner or later it's going to occur, and it might not even happen to us in this generation or even in the next one. But you have to leave things well done, especially because you know for sure that there's a problem, right? The same thing has to be done, for example, in certain areas of Guerrero. To work on earthquake-resistant infrastructure, like in Mexico City, there are already many known issues. But the residents of a coastal city in the Pacific Northwest know that when there's a tsunami warning, they have to go to higher ground. They know this perfectly well, and well, this topic catches my attention. Today, Columbia Broadcasting System News reports on it, where they talk about precisely these challenges in the area, and it seems like suddenly they even have to fight against themselves. I mean,
Against the government?
against their own government, which won't even provide the minimum budget to prevent this situation. On that topic,
Not be exactly. Well, there, in this area called Astoria, Oregon, and the hospital is called Columbia Hospital. Memorial has started building this elevated anti-tsunami shelter because, well, what do you do when you're in the hospital? Right? This shelter is able to hold at least 2,000 people during the tsunami. But while there's an imminent natural threat, there's another danger, which is that the United States government might take away their funding to build this, which is something necessary, right? At the end of the day, it's not a whim, it's not a place to go dance, it's a place to protect people's lives in case the tsunami happens. Well, it's a possibility that will happen at some point. I mean, it's not that it won't happen, it will happen at some point.
it's going to happen exactly. So there's a big bet here. Honestly, I think it's great that they're getting prepared. This anti-tsunami shelter, the 5-story building anchored down to the bedrock, is an elevated shelter for about 1,900 people where there will be food, water, tents, and supplies. For the 5 days, they might have to wait for help, patients on upper floors, generators on the 4th level in case the electricity goes out, reinforced services. Basically, it's going to be super prepared. In a high area, I insist on caring for both the injured and 1,900 refugees. That seems to me...
It's really good. Very good.
Yes.
Yes, but honestly, the United States government is tough. He also wants to get rid of an area, an office in charge of climate issues. Yes, and he wants to get rid of them because they're just exaggerating climate change.
Well, the facts are the facts, but they just don't want to listen. Look, that's what it is. Let's go to the next report because there's a report precisely from National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which is one of these. These agencies have spent years investigating this situation, and there is not about Republicans or Democrats, it's simply about the data they provide you. Trump doesn't represent the United States, he represents certain companies within the country, especially the worst polluters. Well, they bring this narrative of wanting to say that being ecological is bad, that being ecological is this, it's that, it's not good.
For example, you can't use the term global warming in reports now. None of that is allowed.
They live in a state of denial in the White House. And look, at the same time, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, even though it's part of the government and everything, still keeps issuing the reports as they should. They say the Arctic has warmed more than twice as fast as the rest of the planet. We've discussed for years that the planet doesn't warm the same way everywhere. Luckily for us, because those of us who live in already hot, warm areas, if it affected here the same way it affects the Arctic, we'd be at 60 or 70 degrees here, we'd be roasting. It would be impossible to live here, right? I mean, but luckily I say it heats up in different areas. According to reports, areas like the Arctic are warming 6 times more than other areas, like near the equator, for example. So does this also have to do with balance? The Arctic is sounding all the climate alarms in the new report from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which confirms that the polar region by the North Pole has just gone through its hottest year since records began.
And well, from October 2024 to February and September 2025, the average surface temperature of the Arctic Ocean exceeded by up to 13 degrees Fahrenheit, the average from 1991 to 2020. And this is the highest temperature recorded in the region in the last 125 years. Winter sea ice also reached its annual maximum extent, the lowest in almost half a century, according to satellite observations. And the annual minimum in September was the 10th lowest ever recorded, with the amount of ice at its minimum.
Well, that's the issue. Something more about the topic. Well,
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration report also describes a radical transformation in the ecosystem because obviously there are animals and plants that depend on this. The ice, for example, the permafrost, longer summers are making the tundra greener, while glaciers and ice sheets are melting at an alarming rate. In Greenland, which isn't technically part of the Arctic but is very close, you can already see it turning green. It's a very strange thing for the Greenlanders themselves because they say things are disappearing for us. They have different names for the types of ice, and they say there are types of ice they need that no longer exist or there are very few left. So, well, Greenland, by the way, lost 129 billion tons of ice just this year. Just in 2025, the Scandinavian glaciers are also recording their greatest loss ever.
Keep an eye on that because the ice that's, for example, over Greenland is on land.
So it does alter the water level.
They say the ice doesn't change, but if the water level changes, what about the ice? The ice that's out there in the sea, if it melts, it doesn't change. I mean, nothing changes. It's like when you put a piece of ice in a glass and it melts, the water won't rise. The ice rises slightly, but mostly stays the same. But if the ice is outside and then you throw it into the water, well, obviously it rises. So that's what happens with Greenland and with some areas of Antarctica and other regions where the water was on land, not in the sea. Since it's not included in the sea, once it is, it will obviously rise, right? That's something to consider. Let's move on to other important matters like the state. Greetings, Panterita FJ Francisco Arce. It's just that this thing doesn't come back, right? From the Tapatia. How have you been? Very well. Let's go to the Noah Noah, right? When you mention Noah, I also think of Noah Noah by Juan Gabriel. Look what happens. A very curious phenomenon is happening where there's a phenomenon among young people who are listening to a lot of music by Juan Gabriel, by Jose, music that neither Astrid nor I listened to. For example, I mean, it was from our parents' generation, not ours, especially Jose Puma. Not all of them, right? And it always makes us laugh a lot because things like that happen. Guys of all kinds, of all styles, some really preppy, others, let's say, apparently rockers, like they look like they're into different types of music and they all go to listen to music from that era. I think it's really crazy. And even our oldest son from that generation recently asked at home, like, hey, this music is really good. Whose is it? From the guy who smokes a lot. What's his name? Alberto Vasquez. I mean, he has a powerful voice. Honestly, he has an impressive voice, and I even started to appreciate him again. I said, well, yes, honestly, he sings very well. I hadn't appreciated him before. He has English songs that are as good as those by star singers. Honestly, his voice is powerful. But how interesting, right? That it's being brought back, isn't it? Yes.
Exactly. It's just that honestly, right now there's a lack of good ones. Well, there are some, but only a few good musicians. Most of them are, well, not that good, right? I don't want to mention any names.
Because they look back and say how good it was? I mean, honestly, yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. Sometimes you need a second look. There are many interesting things out there. And well, let's move on to other matters, other topics. First of all, let's say hello to someone, to Brenda, who's watching us from Thailand. Can you believe it? Wow. I think this is the first, no, I doubt we've had viewers from Thailand before, maybe on some occasions.
But for someone to be here commenting?
But for someone to comment to us from Thailand, honestly, hey.
Brenda, how are things? What's the atmosphere like now with the situation in Cambodia?
How am I supposed to tell you what I think?
That it's only at the border.
I think it's just at the border, not in the rest of Thailand or Cambodia. They're doing their own thing, but I bet those at the border are more concerned, right? I suppose so, but let's see if Brenda wants to talk to us about it now, if she's willing to discuss the topic.
Says Omar Hernandez. Let's see, the topic is in two parts. Okay, let me just make sure. It starts with I, right? I don't see another comment, so I'll assume this is the only one. He says, yes, Eric. El Rojo foresaw the future and named it Greenland, meaning Greenland because that's what it is. Yes.
Yes, that's true. You're right.
And with this trick, he fooled the Vikings into moving there. Greetings.
Yes, very good.
That he tricked them? Are you saying then? I mean, he lied. He named it Greenland to make them believe it was green. Exactly.
Look, well, Greenland, yes, because actually they mentioned that in the Viking show. Yes, I mean, they mentioned that everyone arrived in Greenland really excited.
Thinking it was green?
I thought it was beautiful because it was so green. Yes, it's very beautiful. The truth is, if you ask me, but living there is something else, especially living there at that time when you arrive and there aren't even any trees. I mean, what am I going to live on? Here, the show is really good. This Vikings one, that part is one of my favorite moments. By the way, hey, today we went to the History Museum and they have the ones that are here. There's an exhibition by the photographer Hijole in Monterrey. Manuel Bravo, right? Manuel Bravo. It's really good. And also it's in the area that's part of the Mune, right? In the museum that's right next to it. In fact, there's a bridge that takes you from one museum to another inside, you know. There's a really good exhibition about Krikri. Do you remember Krikri? Gabilondo Soli. Really good. Honestly, we had low expectations since we hadn't heard about the exhibition. And even the little one says, isn't the big exhibition quite complete? It becomes a complete circle you walk through. From the photo of when he was a baby, yes, all the way to the end when the gentleman was already at an advanced age. I mean, up to me, which is the last photo, so you see the whole life. Impressive. I knew nothing about the life of Gabilondo Soler other than the basics of his creative side. Boxer, bullfighter, he liked to swim, adventurer at sea. He competed in sailing. He spent a year looking for fortune in South America by boat and came back with nothing.
He married 3 times.
He got married 3 times. I mean, he was an athlete. You can tell because there are a lot of photos of him without a shirt doing different sports. He was handsome, wasn't he? But an athlete, I mean, especially in those days, if you look at athletes, they're all pretty skinny, honestly. They're unusual athletes, but not like those today, right? So very defined. I mean, it's like he's a total James Bond, you know? Basically, he didn't do all that stuff in the past and end up, you know, making music for kids. Basically, no. And he also had a lot of stories and very interesting ones because, well, at times he did it and at times he didn't because, well, he didn't make it to World War II and they said, look, none of that music is going to be played because it's World War II. I imagine out of respect, I don't know, for some reason. So he had to find a way to make a living doing other things.
That's why he went to Chile.
He was famous here and he had to go to Chile for an adventure because, well, no, I don't want to spoil anything else because there are just too many things, even funny ones. I mean, in his life, very interesting, right?
Yes, it's great for those from Mexico, well, and Cuba, because they say it was listened to a lot in Cuba. I'm not sure if people in America, South America, or Central America know about Cricri. But, well, his story was often told.
His story was often told, and with things, I mean real things, let's say. For example, there's the Grandfather's Medal, a medal given to him by Benito Juarez. Many aspects of the museography are very beautiful.
Yes, Orizaba. He's from Orizaba, Veracruz, a fellow citizen. That's right, says Brenda. And she says she's right, only at the border. She says that in Pattaya, Thailand, everything is calm. Thank you and greetings.
How cool to have the information directly from Thailand, yes.
Thank you very much.
On this topic, look at what Maria says. I have a 15-year-old nephew who hardly speaks Spanish, but he likes the music of Jose Alfredo Jimenez of Jose and songs like those.
I was shocked. Do you know what else is happening often? There are on YouTube, here on YouTube, are there, what are they called? Like voice critics, right? People who are teachers who give lessons, and they've made these kinds of channels where they watch videos and say, wow, this is really good or whatever. For example, there's a group mostly from the United States and other countries who enjoy watching and critiquing Jose. For example, this video about the sad contest, I can't recall the contest name that's held in Loti.
Loti? No, Loti is from Chile. It's someone else.
I'm not sure what the prize is, but he won 2nd place. Actually, I don't even know who got first. Jose.
Since I'm not from here, I think it's Loti. And that's what I think right now. That's what they're telling us here.
Anyway, they enjoy watching iconic videos of Mexican singers and critiquing them, which always works out well for them. Honestly?
Today, yes, Francisco and this Manuel Alvarez, bravo for being in the photography field. Well, I have had to study him a bit. But it's not the same to see the images already in a museum and in a bunch, all organized by dates and everything. I mean, that part wasn't very long either. It's shorter than the Cricri one, but it's very well done. The selection of photos. And, well, a man who lived 100 years, I mean, he really lived 100 years and, you know, he traveled a lot, especially around Mexico. So, do you see a vision of a man? Very modern from my point of view. I mean, innovative to me because it shows images that even now many photographers wouldn't dare to show. I mean, I think it's really, really different, really cool, honestly. I mean, he captures it like, well, yeah, showing it. It's better. A Mexico that without him or without certain very specific photographers, we wouldn't know it. We just have an idea. And he shows, for example, the image of a lacandon from 1940 or 1930, I don't know, hunting, right? A lacandon hunting, way before all the trouble that has happened in Chiapas and all that. Impressive, honestly. The image is very beautiful, and, there are a lot of details like that which are really interesting.
Says Patrita, I just started watching the Viking series. Oh, you're going to love it.
I mean, we're doing well today. Is there anyone watching Vikings who's watching it? There's also Pluribus.
I was taking a shower and I was singing to it. I who was a storm, I who was a volcano, and listen.
They've become so popular that there are memes, and they're using a lot of music from that era now.
And I think that's also why the kids listen to them, they look for them, and they like them. It's fine. Honestly, me and Jose weren't really into it, but lately, since they've been showing up in memes, I looked them up. I was in the song.
And that's what I do without following voice channels and all that. But suddenly you get an analysis from someone who's trending. Also, because it's not just from the old guys, but also from the new stuff.
Let's see. I love it. It's great.
For example, that's how the redhead is. Really cool. I haven't seen the analysis myself, just what they've shown me. But for example, the other day I watched an analysis like that, of that kind. But in Spanish, when someone does one of those, when it started to be heard, is there a Spanish one in this one?
Rosalia?
Rosalia, yes. When they do one, since she's in the reggaeton scene, right? So like I was saying, 2 or 3, and I kind of like them, but it's a guilty pleasure. So I didn't really express it much. And when I saw the analysis, you could see that her music actually has a lot of depth. So I decided to listen and began doing so. Because suddenly, as you said, you block out everything from that genre.
Yeah, in the case of reggaeton, it's kind of mixed, right? Not just...
No. When you look at the analysis, it's not like it's there. I mean, it brings some really crazy things, very different from typical reggaeton. And it has mixes, there's flamenco. I mean, it brings some really cool stuff. Honestly, it's really cool.
But that's Francisco, the autistic one. But I can't sing much of Jose's stuff here, right? Pepe keeps saying it smells like Bacardi.
Yeah, it's just that I get the feeling that when he starts talking about Bacardi, he says this, he says, my dad was friends with Alvarez Bravo. Just think how cool it is that your dad used to get around a lot with all the artists of that time, right? So that's awesome, isn't it? Well, now, I mean...
About the passing of the astronomer, amateur, sailboat enthusiast, and bullfighting lover, he was impressive.
Yes. Look, he has a photo with his astronomer friends. And then they put it there because they add text.
They gave him an honorary title?
Yes, and they have text like comments he made about, above all, his whole life. For example, there's a photo of him at 14 dressed elegantly like a gentleman holding a cigarette. And they put it in the comment. I mean, like the museography. I think a family member or someone did it and they say, here is Gavilando. At 14, he saw himself as very elegant according to the text, and the entire museography has a comedic tone. For instance, in this one with the astronomers, there's an anecdote where he called them the astro crazies. Astriloques?
Oh.
I didn't just make you up, it's just that the name is hard to hack. And this one, for example, Pepe, no, Astriloca. Aren't you looking good, Astriloca? It's great like this. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's great. This one is perfect.
Yes.
Hey, awesome. Thank you so much, Noel. Thank you so much for the super chat. And what does it say?
It says, Pepe, say hi to my nephew Junior, who's coming from Cancun to Yakima to sweep up the dollars in this heat here in Washington State. Sudden change of weather, he says. Very good, Noel.
Well, greetings, Noel, and greetings to your nephew. I hope the whole trip goes well for him, right? Hope you're all doing well. And thank you very much, by the way, for the super chat.
And he says that Navarro's dad is volunteering for the story. If an architect dies, they move to another plane. If the king farts, it's a noble gas. If the pool is Honda, then the sea is Toyota. Yes.
Well, it could be great. Dad from Navarra, how have you been? What do you say?
Thank you to the new member,
Gerardo.
Ansaldua.
Very good, Gerardo. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Greetings to all the members, by the way. Thank you so much, he says. Phrases for history. Oh, did you read it to him? No? Did you already read it? Very good. I think so. Yes.
It's just that he speaks very actively well.
That's not all. That's all.
He says, time? How many times has Despacito been listened to? 60 billion times, the most played song in the world? I saw the story of how they composed it on Pegasus.
It's catchy, and I didn't know they'd published how they made it. I'll check it out. Look. Right now, with what you said, I remembered about the whole Greekery thing and all that. In the end, they have both YouTube plaques, the 100,000 and 1 million subscriber awards. We entered the channel. There's an official channel for Gabilondo Soler, and that's it.
The one with the song El Raton Vaquero?
It's 300 million out of more than 360, not 360 million impressive views. No, well, it's more than 300 million views.
It has quite a lot. I mean, in that video, Disney made, the little mouse.
Yeah. But you say, it still has quite a lot of appeal. Look at that. Even though...
the cowboy mouse, they always play it in all the kindergartens, but not always at the performances. The kids, the cowboy mouse.
A cowboy.
Says Martin. Tension between the United States and Venezuela. Maduro orders the Venezuelan Navy to escort the oil tankers. But what exactly will they do? They're going to leave with 18
ships, which according to me are 18 ships that are there right now. They are watching, let's say they position themselves so that the ships won't leave, to be checking and making sure the ships don't leave. How do you leave from there, from Venezuela? So, yeah, well, no, I don't think there's much to do, but the tensions are there, the tensions. Well, until something happens, until it reaches a certain point, right?
Greetings to Omar Hernandez, whose membership has been reactivated. Oh no, Omar wasn't a member.
He's new. Welcome, Omar.
And well, Panterita, greetings. And here it says Humberto Garza Astroloca, but it's beautiful, I heard you. That's it.
Hey, it's just that today we're talking with our kids about how it's really easy to just leave suddenly, parents. And today, what about everyone? They don't give them names because the grandfather was called that or whatever, and they give them names that are really easy to make fun of, right? So then he tells them that to choose the names, they went through like 20,000 tests of bullying and teasing, so they wouldn't be so... because Astrid is very difficult, but Pepe is very easy. But there are other names that are much easier than Pepe. You say, wow, this name rhymes with a bad word and that one with another. Some names rhyme with half the bad words. So I don't want to say the names because I don't want to give people ideas.
But because there might be someone named that, or who?
Someone really has that name, right? There are so many names that make you say, wow. How brave of the parents. They're just setting him up to be bullied for 15 years, poor kid. This one says, how was Alex? Like, hey there, Panamorado, how are you doing? 2 greetings, very good, he says. I'm reviewing books, the proposal seems interesting. Episode 7 felt like the weakest to me. Sincerely, Hector.
Like that, we can't say anything, but everything about Paraguay is really good.
Yes, well, yes, I'm really hooked. I'm like super hooked, but we'll see what happens.
It's a great performance, especially since they're alone throughout.
The thing that's thrown them off a bit is that style he has right now. Did this become the director's name?
That's why I haven't learned it.
But anyway, you see that in Breaking Bad, everything was very fast. A lot of lines, a lot of intense comments, right? Which has allowed it to be well established. Vince has managed to keep Breaking Bad fresh in the memes, not the shorts. In the TikToks. end like that because, well, it's really easy to pick up a really interesting little phrase that this Walter White says in his video, and then all his videos go viral. So a lot of people keep uploading and uploading. So a lot of people haven't seen the show, but they're fans of the show because of the quotes. Yeah, but in this case, it's a very quiet series, very risky in that sense. That series only exists because Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul were so successful. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let him do that. It's rare to see them dare to basically make cinema. I mean, the series is basically cinema. I mean, there are moments of a lot of silence. There are moments with long takes, and they almost never do that. But the story is so good that it keeps you. It keeps you. I like long takes and silence, but many people, especially with series, prefer things to move faster. So suddenly, I don't know if that's bothered some people, but for some, yes, for some people it has. Ani, I don't want to spoil anything. It's better if we leave it at that because I'm about to mention things that people are going to see. But it's great that you're watching it. It's great that you're watching it. Greetings to Costa Rica, and I hope the series continues to succeed.
Adan Perez says, I sell vinyl records, and those of Jose, Luis, Miguel, Amanda, Miguel Leo, Dan, Rocio Durcan, Los Panchos, Pedro Infante, and others are artists whose records both kids and young people buy from me. Those, look, how interesting. And also another thing. For example, a series is released, Not Mentiras, that also features many songs from the 80s. Oh no, well, everyone had them, right? I had them too. I kept singing and singing because they were really good. The lyrics say that we need to organize the Pepe Nauta Awards for the most outstanding people in the chat for the end of the year.
Hey, you know what? Yes.
It would be nice to have the most talkative one. What else do you want?
The controversial one?
The controversial one?
The funniest one?
Well,
like that, right? Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes. That's right. It's happening.
The Pepe Nauta Awards.
The Pepe Nautas, that's great. Thank you, Francisco. It's happening.
Alex?
Sorry, Alex. So, Alex, what am I saying? I say Francisco because Francisco is the one who almost always uses the phrase Pepe Nauta. That's why I recognized it quickly. But no, then it was Alex who, well...
He says, greetings to Francisco. If you never danced the cowboy mouse at the Mother's Day festivals, I know.
Of course, yes.
But, well, okay. I think they're going to change the generation of teachers now, right? They're not going to play that anymore.
Do you think they'll make a hip-hop one like that?
Well, yes, there have been cases of teachers that, wow.
No. I mean, but the cowboy mouse, I mean...
the hip-hop version?
Something like that, right? How have you been? Isn't it amazing what he did? Baywatch, Brian and Brandon everywhere. Yes, it's impressive that even today, Brian and Brandon...
But yes, I don't know if you've noticed that whenever they have someone, they're always called that, either Brian or Brandon. But it turns out that's a fake name they all use so they don't have to give their real name. It's a habit now too. So not all the Brians they have are actually named Brian.
They just say Brian. Oh, well, that's it. Nothing more.
Says Noel Mendoza. And the weather started to change and it got really cold. Like seriously, says Noel, who's over there in Washington. And it felt like summer, which is very strange for that time in Yakima. And last year it had already snowed and the world is getting warmer. Yes.
Yeah, it's really tough. Greetings. And well, it looks like the weather is still bad over there, but it's more like wind and rain, it seems. Let's see how it goes. Greetings all the way to Washington. And it says episode 7, that's what it says, is the best pre-flight one. Yeah, is Chavo also agreeing with you? Yeah, it's just that for me, all of them, all the ones that honestly like get me excited because they're series that you rarely ever find. Yeah.
It's more like yes, no, yes.
Almost no. So yeah. It's really good, and that's it. And I hope you got the one that Astrid from L recommended to you. What's it called?
The Wing of the Collapse.
The Collapse? Yes.
It's very good, says Dad. He doesn't say Buddy Buddy Purple. He says Pluribus has already been renewed for a second season.
Great. So there are 3, right? Since it's catching on, yes.
Of course, yes. And it's already in Spanish on Netflix talking about Breaking Bad. And Zarate says, not me, I didn't like Breaking Bad.
Okay.
How much did you really watch, Zarate?
Yeah, because at first it's kind of weird to see this actor as Walter Wilde. At some point you realize it truly takes off. Wasn't I watching and there was a YouTuber who was reacting to this series? Huh? What's it called? The one with 1,000 episodes? This anime?
Yes, the one about... The one with the boy with the hat.
Yes.
Yes, this per member per month. Oh, I forgot the name.
Not Generation 102. Yes, I remember.
Yes, yes.
This is Virata, this one.
No, this one. They ask for One Piece, One Piece, One Piece.
So it's fine.
I'm gonna say One Punch Man.
But no, so this YouTuber has been pressured because that's how the market is, right? So it's a penguin move. Yeah.
So this Penguin 07, well,
But I say penguin move. They had been pressuring this penguin move for a long time. And he uploaded a video where he says, well, it's been 5 years since even more. He started watching it 5 years ago and just finished all 1,000 episodes. Wow, that's crazy, he says, laughing because he started it. Then he says, but let me tell you something. The reality is the first 300 episodes were really hard to watch.
the episodes were.
And he says the first 300 episodes were terrible. But after episode 300, he says everything goes up. It just keeps getting better and better.
So we started watching from episode 300.
It's good, right? But there's a trick to watching the whole thing. Actually, I forgot to mention it here to everyone. But anyway, the point is that they say from episode 300, it starts to get better. It starts to improve, they say. And it's not because they said it was Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, of course, yeah.
That happens. That's it.
So much time passed, right? Does he say no? He really doesn't. It's just that from that point on, the story changes completely. I mean, the story arcs change. The characters get better. He says it seems something happened to the author.
And the guy realized he was making a mess.
From chapter 301, it continues to increase. So the series says it's really good from there on, but... Well, the thing with these series that aren't as long as that one is that he can't watch them. There's a trick that fans started making summaries.
So,
Imagine you can summarize the season. Yes.
because sometimes a fight takes up 5 episodes. No.
No. They've already edited it. It's all summarized now. Oh, I don't know what to look for. It's just that I don't know where they put it then.
Oh, it's probably around here.
Well, someone there did the little trick, yeah.
The summary, he says, is that they've seen the children's party show of a moped that sings rock. 80s, yes, I've seen it. In fact, it was there because this weekend, like 2 weekends ago, it was here in San Pedro at San Pedro de Pinta. Yes, they closed it and brought in that rocker moped, right? The one there. Funny. I think he has long hair, right? And he brings his guitar. Did you see it? No, you didn't. It's really cool. Look him up. He's funny, does the show, tells the kids, yes, you have, and talks like the guy from The Simpsons, right? The driver, yeah, the bus driver. Greetings to Omar Hernandez. No spoilers. He's only watching episode 2. Sorry. Adan also sends greetings to anyone else missing. Episode 300, what does it give?
It's just that anime has 1,000 episodes and
No?
it's not finished, it hasn't ended, and the author doesn't know when it's going to end. I mean, it doesn't have a date or anything, like the ending is not set, so...
Omar says, I think it's amazing, and I started watching One Piece when I was in elementary school, and now I watch every episode as it comes out with my son.
Just imagine...
It grew with you?
Just imagine, Marilena says, what a beautiful time, the Krikri era. Let's spend the night. How was it, Marilena? Greetings to Tehuapucan. Puebla EMA greetings. Wilkoff, he says. Clark Syndrome, he says from Stockholm. I loved it. Yes.
Of course, yes, Syndrome, because it happens to us a lot, right? It used to happen a lot, I think, when we didn't have so many options. Well, when we used to watch shows and we'd say it's not that good, but you'd sit down to watch it anyway. Yes. But now Pepe and I already know if the movie isn't good, the first, 20 minutes.
Bye, goodbye.
There are many options, right?
Yes, now we cut it off and the series 2.
We give them tutus.
Yes, it's highly recommended. Yes, well, if not even 2. But for example, in these He-Man ones, for example, as a kid, I enjoyed Thundercats and He-Man, but rewatching them made me realize how bad those cartoons actually were.
And they're just so slow.
Really slow.
Everything happens, and then it's always the same, everything the same, always the same thing, the same old nonsense over and over again.
So I said, no, there's nothing. I mean, and when you see why they made them, it was to sell toys. They literally made them for that. No, there wasn't there wasn't something the author wanted. No. They just said, hey, we want to sell these little figures, make up a story, and that's it. That's the end of it. So, well, yeah, I mean, the kid enjoyed it, but no, definitely that's why.
Now, when you see the cartoons kids watch nowadays, the kids' cartoons are really great. The stories are really complete. They have structure, there's character development, not like for us, where it was always the same. The same thing happened over and over again, of course. It got boring. He can check without Vancouver. It already snowed, says Tapatia.
Of course, let me check.
Says this Jotam, then says the 3 and Atlas is several million years old. Well.
I mean, yes, but it's supposed to be billions of years. We're talking about an extremely exaggerated amount. Yes. If the calculations they're doing are correct, then it would be more years than the Earth itself. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, assuming everything is as they've said, that it's a comet, that it's coming from a certain point, I mean, assuming everything is correct, what they say it will be from 7,000 to 10,000 years ago, almost when the universe was created. I mean, really ancient. Supposedly. No, so yeah, it's really crazy. Look, first of all, before yes, whether it's snowing or not, what I can mostly see is if it's going to snow. But looking into the past, I don't think I have that option. Let me check. But what I am seeing is basically for that whole area, I mean, everything that is Vancouver, Victoria, and even Seattle, and well, even Washington, etc. Well, it's going to snow if you look from now until the 25th. Or if you go directly to Vancouver, well, I mean, it depends on the area, but it shows from now until the 25th. Sorry, but here it's showing rain, but like I said, we're getting new snow, 49 centimeters of snow. Look, I mean, there it is from now until the 25th. That's what it shows. So new snow, right? So maybe there's already snow. But yes, there will be, well, according to this, there will be, I mean, it depends on the area. Do you see how it shows from 30 to 60 centimeters of snow? If it's closer to the coast, 29. If it's further inland, let's say, it shows more snow, right? Or if it is, well, it's intense. That's the thing, right? And it's pretty much the same throughout the whole area. I mean, you see, whether it's here or towards the mountains and everything, they could go talk, right? I mean, over there, it's way snowier, but, well, that's more or less what you can see. Tapatia, well, you're going to miss it, but I don't think you'll miss the snow, she says. They made a movie about Creaky, and at the end they show the original Creaky in a very emotional tribute they did for him. That's crazy, she says. I never understood Candy. Alex says he can go to Candy.
Candy is a cartoon, a Japanese anime. Wasn't she a girl who had a really tough life almost all the time, right? And everyone takes advantage of her? Yes, it's still sad at the end. Poor girl, honestly.
Yes.
You looked for me. I am protected.
What was that about? That I had a raccoon? Yes.
She was an orphan girl who lived in Polly's house. That's what the place was called. And she was adopted by a rich family. They treat her terribly. The grandchildren, maybe cousins, never well, always as the outcast, the cursed one. And she goes to study.
Is it a soap opera?
Yes, it's a soap opera. She's not going to study nursing. The First World War begins.
She doesn't do badly, no?
No, it's a classic, but I mean, no, she's not as beautiful as others. No, this one is more beautiful.
76, 79, check out this series, yeah.
Yeah, they repeated it so many times. Yes. Says Susanna Klein, the one who sings passed away.
Is it Candy or not?
No, she's the friend. The rich girl is someone else.
The turtle.
Yes, says Remy. Very sad. Remy is even sadder. I don't think I got to see that one. But my older brother, who's about 8 years older than me, is a huge fan of Remy. Well, he was. I don't think he's a fan now, says Remy. That's another one I just didn't get. You know, the one who knows always says, I'm in the Tapateceros chat. Tapateo.
Says Remy, he says. Nobody's Boy is a famous anime series produced and created by the Tokyo Movie Shinsha Studio and broadcast in its entirety. 51 episodes aired from 1977 to 1978. Just look at anime from that era, right? I mean, it's really impressive, right? Yeah, they've been producing anime for us for a long time.
He asks, what if I don't like cartoons? So what did you watch as a kid? Come on, you're a man of the world now. Since I was a kid, I know my favorite show was an old one.
I saw the news.
The Thunderbirds from space. Now that was a show, Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds, yeah, I know it now, right? Yes, I like this one. Well, I used to like He-Man and all those back in the day. The other one, the one about the Galactic Cowboy too.
And the others, The cowboys too. The cowboys who are in space at heart.
Yes, of course, they're good too. Yes, yes.
Let's get back to this topic, says Omar. I'm trying to convince my wife to watch The Tomb. Oh, Omar, why are you doing that to your wife?
Oh, here we are. I love her.
I want them to watch it, and I understand because I also want them to watch it so they can feel what I felt. But it's so beautiful and very sad, yes. And when you learned Christy Krantz said it's based on someone's life the other day, I said, oh, well, it made me want to talk.
Who says it's tough? Yeah.
Yeah. The other day I gave them a video of Pepe as a child, and she's watching it and crying. And the friends are like, why me?
The mom.
The mom and friends? Do the little friends need to be there? She asks, why is she crying? She says, stop watching her if she makes you cry. He says, no, to appreciate life. Yes.
And reason, and with tears, the boy says to appreciate life. Look, you say no? That boy has very high emotional maturity.
And yes, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Also how shocking it is, yeah.
That's why when there are people, I feel like the news does that too. Watching the news honestly makes me appreciate life more. Yes, of course, when you say you're not experiencing what people are going through in that country, I say, well, if you go out after seeing so many reports, you really feel grateful to have your own problems and issues.
My problems are minor compared to what people face in that country or the other.
Yes, says Don Gato.
Don Gato is really cool. Really, really Don Gato and Pedro Picapiedra. They have it on Home Box Office Max, and we've been watching it with the youngest one, and he loved it. Yes, he liked it. Yes, it's because it's like Mero.
Basically, yes, it's like them. I mean, what's his name? Benito.
But are they Norberts? Are they puppets or something else?
Are they a little creepy? Yes, they're a little creepy.
Oh, wow. Didn't you guys like them? They're creepy, we say.
It was also the time when they used that technique of using puppets in several shows. A little bit, honestly.
That little panther, he's getting old.
Honestly, yes, seriously. I mean, really, I always had 3 more pairs of shoes, but now I literally have no shoes. I mean, really, yeah, I need that kind. No, I don't have any dress shoes. If I have to go to a funeral, I would need black ones, but I don't have any. All my life, I hated those shoes. I didn't like them. No, not at all. If I could, no. And now the oldest son is wearing shoes all day, school shoes, and I'm like, I mean, why?
Why?
Why are you wearing shoes? I see it as a punishment, and they're not even cool. I like them a lot, and I'm like, oh, well, that's cool, that's fine, and well, you like them, but to me, it's just, okay. Everyone has their own ideas and vibes. They're not that wild. And yeah, I mean, they really like to dress up with shirts, to dress up and all that, and the parents embarrassed and sloppy, right?
And with the shirt from those rock bands with really baggy pants. I'm not gonna wear it this winter season because right now the girls are wearing them. The one, yes, Cabernet, like his little son says, the
Pulgoso, which is the dog?
Not the dog?
The laughing dog, yes. Well, at school they used to tell me I had Pulgoso's cough when I got a winter cough or whatever, and I coughed. I know how I coughed. And someone would say to me, I don't know if it was a teacher or maybe a little bug. Yes. Mandibulin, Robertes, a bunch of guys there. I knew Robertes because of some cousins. No, I didn't know them. I think just the series or the movie, but yes, the toy. I knew the toy, that's it, because of some cousins. Yes, I loved it. Lost in Space, who?
Is Benny Sebastian? Huh? Benny Sebastian? I don't know who that is.
Sebastian?
Poochie is the puppy, right? Poochie is the puppy, but I don't know who Benny Sebastian is.
Yeah, Lost in Space. It's really good.
But she's not talking about the series we watched. No.
No, but they used to rerun it. Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that it was shown on cable.
Oh, did you have it? Yeah, they say so. I never gave anything as a kid since I didn't fight. They didn't tie my hands. But it's not normal to tie hands either. But they noticed me when something broke, when the power went out, or when a water pipe or a window broke. Rarely, almost never. They scolded me saying, oh, that's good.
Good.
I did get scolded all the time. Yeah, but seriously, with spankings and everything, no, really?
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, I didn't go through that. It says in the comment. It says, I put on cartoons that says old ones. Jonas and the Jetsons didn't even catch his attention because he's already used to the red drones.
To him, they seem completely normal.
He says he loves the Flintstones, Tom, Jerry, and Bugs Bunny. Ah, look, well, yes, try putting on these Mickey Mouse ones. Let's see if they work for you. But the ones that are the hitters...
The old ones, yes. No, the good ones are the new ones, the old ones.
Yeah, those shorts,
Those are really great.
they're new.
They're new. The new Mickey Mouse shorts are pretty edgy.
I'd give them a vintage touch, but they're actually new. They're new. Yeah.
The birthday song one is really good. It's really good.
Not the coin.
That one, no, that's it.
It's for old ladies. It's another one.
No, yes, it's more for old ladies, like Chinese ones. Okay, but nothing else. It just has that tint.
That's a joke, and it's really good, he says. Just wait until your kids show up with their girlfriend.
I don't even see when that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's something else too, like the way now to
Flirt is,
flirt. It's not really.
for example, the clubs that used to be, well, where people went to flirt. Now they're not popular with the kids anymore, right? They don't go as much, do they?
Right.
She says,
Very different, really different. I mean, a different generation. So did it really change a lot?
absolutely nothing. I would say absolutely nothing. Roblox. I have a friend who dances like the dodo bird, and no matter how much she wants to improve her dancing, she stays the same dodo.
Hey, Roblox, I just remembered. Well, if you've seen that Seinfeld show, and there's a person named Elaine, look her up, look up Elaine dance, just like she's doing. That's how she dances.
I don't know how they do it, all stiff. It's funny, says Fernando Gutierrez.
Like accounting jokes.
Like the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons says, it was excellent. Fernando, I love that cartoon because also my older brother had the books where you decide what you're going to do and you go to different points in the book. So your version of the story changes. But this was the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons. Every time there was a chance for them to return to their world, no, something happened and they couldn't. It was so good. I loved it.
I like that one they released, which is Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons, no.
Dungeons and Dragons, yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons is also great. Very different from the other one, but really good.
But yeah, it's me. I mean, the one you're talking about, I only know it because of you, that's it. Because no.
Your dog didn't see her?
I didn't see, he says. Hey, if Bubbles, also Bubbles, he says. What you don't want in your house, you have to have that classic...
He says, Marisol Garcia says, I watched the Sad Bee series. Yes, the little bee from Metan, no, the Maya bee, everything happened to her. And the frog from Metan too, everything happened to her. Yes, it was one drama after another. Every episode, she says, it was a cartoon. I think they showed it on Channel 11 or 3 back when it was in my vision. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
This greeting is incredibly sad.
He also says, I'm from weddings, Sonia, come here.
She's young.
Francisco?
Says Panterita. Yes, look for it. It's one about a big white dog named Ben.
I don't recognize it. Also remember a dog named Oliver.
I don't remember that. You always talk about Oliver, that dog, and I.
Because they were gonna name my younger brother Oliver. And I remember I told my parents, well, it's like the dog Oliver. And I said, oh, well, no, better not. And they didn't name him that. So if not, would his name have been Oliver?
No, I don't know her.
Yes, I have seen her.
Right? I was the one who liked her.
I didn't like her that much either, but yes.
From D'Artagnan. In fact...
That's why I thought he was, a Saint Bernard, but he's not a Saint Bernard. No,
he's not. He's a Samoyed, or I think so, yes.
But yes, I saw her. I did see her.
I like the one about D'Artagnan and the 7 Musket Dogs and the one about Around the World. There's a gentleman like this, a well-groomed little duck.
Yes.
Yes, I think it's an anime, though. I'm not sure.
Robotex is the best. Danny Boy is, I never really watched it. I've seen some bits now, but not as a kid, he says. I think so. Among young teenagers, if they have a good family environment, do they take longer to get a boyfriend or girlfriend? Or is it the same? Yeah, it's like before it was kind of mandatory. I mean, it was like, and now it's like nothing. It's like they just don't care,
They just can't be bothered, actually.
And we know quite a few.
But it's also because of a lack of connection. Yes, that's also it, let's say. Yes. Certain doctors say yes. It's a little worrying that people are having relationships later and later. Because there are some who are waiting until they're 30 years old because there's a lack of connection with other people. Technology has made Japan's situation already extreme, right? But yes, it's something that needs to be worked on, not just socializing, but socializing without the phone, because that's the thing. Everyone is at the gathering and they're all on their phones or tablets, right? I mean, they don't talk, they don't play, and that's important, right?
No, even if they go.
What will they do when Petri breaks down? Permachina Valentin Impulses Reflex, thank you.
Yes, also,
Topolilo, time for bed.
my parents told me that Topolilo was a robot. So even now, I believed he was a robot. No. It's just that he has some little wires and...
He also has a hand when he walks. Was all this black part from the hand?
Well, I swear that kid...
It used to creep me out when they sang the song about the little girl who got lost. Did you see this, Christy? Definitely. I think the generations being born now are going to want to go back to basics, to retro things. Like in our time, I lent him my iPod Nano and he's fascinated, says Christy.
Yeah, it already has that vibe.
These days, a lot of things are coming out on social media too. Yeah. I hope everything...
Retro stuff, everything. Whether it's the big phone or all those things, they love them. I mean, and then they say that's junk, right? But no, this is cool. I mean, yeah.
She says...
Sorry, we've gone to these antique stores and wait, those aren't antiques. Those are, I don't know. I mean, when I was a teenager, but why are they looking at it from here? Hey? And they say, look, this, well, it's the phone I used to use. Like, what the heck? Why? Why do they put it there?
Shouldn't it be in this museum, sir? Yes.
This isn't old. Hey, he says exactly. Technology is changing the minds of young people in general. Yes, in general, I tell the truth. That also to them. I mean, on one hand, yes, there is a different kind of closeness. Because now, if you meet up with some friends, not ones you haven't seen in 10 years, but the ones you see every day. On WhatsApp, there's no awkwardness about not seeing someone for a while, since you already know everything. Even what they did yesterday, right? Basically then, interestingly, the connection is maintained, even though there's hardly any real contact. Like that, right?
Marisol says, I always wanted to have my own Robotina. If I'm still alive in the next 15 years, I'll make my dreams come true. Marisol. Yes.
Everything's getting closer.
You'll definitely be alive in 15 years, Marisol.
By the way, that party company went bankrupt, didn't you know? I imagine it did go bankrupt. That's why there were so many offers. There were a ton just now. Remember they told us recently I got the party at a super price and, well, the company went bankrupt. The company went bankrupt but was already acquired by a Chinese firm. So I guess the parties are going to go down in price. I mean, I suppose they're going to go down in price, but now the Chinese are going to make them. I think they were already making them, but now it's official. It's a Chinese company. The ones from Roomba are still cheap.
No, this isn't Rumba, huh?
Okay, but yeah, I mean, like the Rumbas are, well, they were, I don't know now, but they're super cheap.
They're really good.
They were 12,000, 13,000, 14,000 pesos, which are the ones that are $500, $500, $600 the party. Well, now they were at $200, just to say, I mean.
But right now we need a much stronger one because of the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are some that vacuum, sweep, and mop.
Well, they vacuum and mop.
They vacuum, sweep because they go sweeping. Yeah.
But vacuuming is basically the same thing. Why would you sweep if you vacuum?
If it's stuck lifting, it won't help.
The side, no, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Yes, it fits. Yes. Confirm, guys.
Well, you guys tell us. Let's see what it says. I used to read a book for 8 hours straight, but now I can only manage half an hour, usually online. Well, I start questioning and investigating everything I see. Yes, you're absolutely right. My ability to retain information has suddenly changed. It's not the same now. Since we're not used to reading for long periods so often, it will eventually take a toll, right? I also feel like as you go along, suddenly you have too many things to do or too many distractions. You have to pause sometimes, right? Maybe, I don't know.
That's how you spell Beckel.
Bitzel,
With two S,
double S.
double L. It's a vacuum cleaner, but I still have to clean. Cristina, hombre.
Do we want a robot maid? Christina, yes.
I mean, what I want is to set it at night and have it do it because, look, we have a small, tiny problem, which is nothing. It's nothing compared to the problems of the world. But the downstairs floor is very gossipy. I mean, I literally sweep and mop. And 5 minutes later, you can already see a little stain, a little hair. I mean, no, I can't live comfortably, you know?
He says a lot of guys can't concentrate for 5 minutes. Honestly, yes. I mean, there's a group that has that, and there's another group that I see. It's like they're moving away from what's fast and looking for what's slow, what's analog. Even
It says here Marisol automatic vacuum cleaner, but I already have the one that sweeps, vacuums, and mops. When I try it out, I'll let you know how it turned out, okay? If they're already dropping in price, yeah, well, there's one right now that went from 8 to, I think, 3 or 4.
that's why he says it should be called AP Live. Yeah, like that, not the other way.
Because AP is going to show up.
That's what I was just about to tell you. Yeah, you can't always do that. That's a news agency. So it's going to show up like they're going to say brand substitution or something. They're going to say weird things. But yeah, but thanks for the idea.
Wilco would be cool.
But there, it says on the banner, it says presented by Astrid. No, you say, how are you, Benedicto Panterita? It says Marisol and okay.
I walked up to 10 kilometers to visit a girl, he says. Did it open for me before, really? Yes, yes, yes. I remember that my first boyfriend, well, I think I saw him every Sunday, and we were in high school, right? But it was like, go downtown, because we would meet downtown, and then from there we would hang out. No, basically you would just hang out downtown in Monterrey, but yeah, it was a whole thing, right? You didn't really go out. And well, Pepe, he basically had boyfriends in almost every neighborhood, every town from there.
In every town. He says, I used to think the same, that it was better for the machine to do it, but for it to really clean, you have to pick things up so it doesn't get stuck and mess up its map. There's already a Christina. If you saw her who has a little arm, there is.
It hasn't gone on sale yet.
Ah, okay,
I saw it in
the test.
It's a yes, but it's about to come out. I mean, the idea is for it to come out now. Well,
they are being removed.
She's going to remove socks and such, but we don't have carpets. I mean, the most complicated thing would be, well, moving a cable around, but we have all the cables lifted up because of the dogs, says Christina. No, says Tapatia. I've seen a baby 6 months ago at the race with a cell phone, and their parents get really mad at me because they throw the phone to the baby so they won't be bothered.
Yes, no, that's right. No.
Yes, it's a bad habit.
Yes, no, not that. Because if it's there, I mean, if it leaves you there, it affects your brain.
Yes, because it's still developing and it can recover. In the end, children still have a brain with a lot of plasticity. It can recover, but you have to take it away from them. It can't stay that way.
Pepe Milamores.
Says Pepe Milamores. Pepe. Yes, he was. Have you seen how much he used to flirt? Well, this one, because he used to flirt a lot when he was young.
This one wasn't.
Because he's tied down.
He was. Let's not say you didn't see.
But it was you didn't see. No.
No, not this one. Not that exaggerated, but Pepe says he was like a sailor. Didn't you see each door and cape?
In every town, Francisco says, even many cities, he says. Many years ago, I used to tell my friends I was going to buy a car when they drive themselves, and they would say, no way, haha, it's not long before I buy it, he says.
It's just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Yes, the truth is they already drive themselves.
The problem is that here in Mexico, they haven't been accepted.
No, not yet, but it won't be long. I mean, it won't be long.
And I don't know how good that is because Tesla has quite a few lawsuits against them.
But if you calculate the number of accidents, well, a few years ago it was like that. I don't know about now, but on average, there were still way fewer accidents. I mean, if you're driving, you still have to be next to the steering wheel. Wasn't there a lot of irresponsibility? Also, there were people who would switch to the other side because they recorded themselves separately, like switching to the passenger seat, falling asleep, watching movies. No, but it's just that
people go crazy.
Well, guys,
remember that we're on WhatsApp and Telegram and we send you the shipping notifications.
If there's a 5-month-old baby in my family, something we all try to avoid is yes, exactly.
Yes. For example, in my generation, we took photos of our children for everything, but we didn't do that before. But the new generation of parents doesn't do that anymore. They don't share their children on social media anymore. Part of it is like that.
Just a few here and there. A photo every now and then, but not every 5 seconds like it was literally done before.
We had an acquaintance who took a picture of the child's first poop in the toilet and shared it on Facebook.
I don't remember that, but if it's
The one who used to take care of our dog, he's gonna say, no way. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Well, actually, yes.
it's good. Well then, Maria Elena, Rublos Domingo, greetings. Hope you're doing well. See you later. No, tomorrow we won't keep talking. See you. And goodbye.
Thank you for watching the PP News Live, where the events of planet Earth and outer space secrets are analyzed like nowhere else. Thank you for subscribing.